And welcome to the University of Dundee Master of Education webinar. My name is Helen Spiropoulos and I'm the Admissions Manager at Stafford Global. And joining me this evening all the way from the UK is Dr. Marie. Good evening to you, Dr. Marie.
Good evening, everybody. It's really looking forward to this evening's webinar with you.
I can see that there are quite a few of you that have joined us as far afield as Kuwait and Bahrain, and I can see some from KSA as well as the UAE. Welcome, everyone. How are we going to conduct the webinar this evening is I'm just briefly going to introduce you to Stafford. I'm then going to hand you over to Marie, who's here this evening to tell you all about the MEd program. And right at the end of the presentation, you will have the opportunity to type out any questions that you'd like to ask Marie or myself. And what I am going to be doing is looking at these questions quite carefully because a lot of them are very similar, if not identical. So I am going to be grouping them together. So do listen out for that very important question and answer. Right, let's get started. Who is Stafford Global? Well, Stafford was established in 1993, and we are a resource center for distance learning education in the Middle East. Now, we are currently the resource center for 5 UK universities, one of which is the University of Dundee. We do offer a variety of programs ranging from certificates to diplomas, bachelor's, MBAs, MEds, right through until doctorates. So we really do have all the programs for your personal as well as your professional needs. Now, the mere fact that you're here this evening means that you have been in touch with one of our experienced academic consultants. And our function is to assist you throughout the registration and the application process. And we do offer some administrative support as well. Right, I'm now going to hand you over to Marie, who's going to chat to you about the MEd, and I'll join you again towards the end of the webinar. Over to you, Marie.
Thank you very much, Helen. Thank you. So welcome to the University of Dundee and the Master of Education programme. So my name is Dr. Marie Beresford-Dame. I'm a lecturer in the School of Education and Social Work, lecturing in educational leadership primarily. I'm also the academic lead for any students who are undertaking the MEd programme via Stafford Associates. So, the University of Dundee, who are we? Well, we like to think we make a difference here and now in the real world. We encourage a cross-disciplinary exchange of thoughts, ideas and innovation through a variety of teaching methods and different perspectives. We work to foster a partnership approach between students and staff and actively seek ways of working across boundaries, and that comes through with it being a School of Education and Social Work, working across the 2 different disciplines. We encourage and support students to be transformative. We make time to listen to you, to help and support you, and recognise and respect the differences, making sure that we actively promote inclusion. We nurture creativity and innovation, and as a modern university, we focus our efforts on 3 key themes: improving social, cultural and physical well-being to develop innovative solutions to 21st century problems. So ultimately, we transform lives. So the University of Dundee, why Dundee? As you can see from the listings there, we are frequently placed highly in the university rankings, which we are very proud of. We have substantial global reputation with students from over 150 countries around the world. In addition, no matter where you are studying in the world, we promote a real sense of community, and it's this that we feel that sets us apart. So at Dundee, we can offer you a learning experience with one of the world's top universities. And during the course of your studies, we'll offer you excellent teaching, learning, support, and resources. So what is the MEd, the Master of Education programme? Well, it's a professional development programme that's undertaken at level 11 on the Scottish qualifications framework, so that's at master's level. And do note, however, that although the MEd is recognised by the General Teaching Council for Scotland, the GTS, is not a teaching qualification. As different national governments have different prerequisites for teaching, you are advised to check with the relevant government or registering body for their requirements. Okay, so the overview, very briefly, is that we treat all students equally. So even though you'll be studying at a distance, you'll still have access to student support. We are an internationally recognised postgraduate qualification with education at its focus from early years through to higher education. We're also recognised by the International Baccalaureate, which I will go on to speak about in a little bit more detail. So why study at master's level? This is a question that often gets asked at this stage, and there are several benefits of undertaking a master's degree. It deepens and broadens your knowledge through asking questions, through seeking answers and exploring the different landscape from a different perspectives, which then changes the world in which you will perceive the world, the way in which you will perceive the world. Through this, you'll develop a more inquiring, reflecting, critical and innovative approach to practice. So through undertaking the MEd, you'll demonstrate your mastery of education, which of course can then be honed further to specialise in an educational area of your choosing. It enables you to develop transferable skills such as criticality, communication, use of technology and organisational skills, just to name a few. So study at master's level enables you to improve your career prospects, which often leads to higher incomes. And this also includes professional progression into leadership and management roles. Also, you might wish to progress to doctoral studies if you obtain the full MEd. And for some countries, they consider teaching as a master's level profession. So therefore, obtaining an MEd enables you to meet the professional requirements of those countries. But as I've already mentioned, please do check that with the registering body in each country. So why study a master's at the University of Dundee? It's a programme of study that brings together theory with your practice. It encourages you to draw on your experiences and align those experiences with the literature. So, as I've already mentioned, it enables you to question why we do certain things and whether there are alternative ways where practice can be enhanced. It encourages you to strengthen your knowledge about global educational developments through offering an opportunity to critically explore different perspectives of education from around the world, all of which help to develop or extend your confidence to enhance your professional career. And as tutors, we are continuously seeing our students' practice being influenced by their learning at master's level. This inevitably benefits the students and staff who you're working with also. To obtain an MEd, you will need to complete 180 credits of study in any of the above named awards. The Award of Leading Learning and Teaching, highlighted in bold, is our generic award, which provides subject flexibility. However, if you do require subject specialism, you can see that we have a number of options, from educational leadership to teaching English to speakers of other languages, or the TESOL route through. Okay, to achieve those named awards, we do have a selection of modules, and each of the optional modules enable you to carry out the study and assignment without being in a workplace environment, as long as you have relevant teaching experience to draw from. Each optional module is considered as a single credit module and are worth 30 credits. In addition, we also have 3 core modules, so reflecting upon practice, research methods and dissertation. Reflecting upon practice and research methods are also worth 30 credits, and the dissertation module, which is a double credit module, is worth 60 credits. To demonstrate how the named award and modules linked, you can see that the generic Leading and Learning and Teaching Award enables you to undertake 2 optional modules, along with having flexibility at dissertation stage. Whereas the named awards not highlighted in bold do require you to undertake specific modules, and the dissertation must focus on an area that's relevant to the named award. So, for example, if you wish to obtain an MEd in educational leadership, then one of your optional modules must be leadership and organisational development, with a free choice of the second optional module, but then your dissertation must also focus on educational leadership. For those awards, once you commence, for the IB awards, the International Baccalaureate Awards, once you commence your studies at Dundee, you'll need to register directly with the IB. We will provide guidelines of how to do this, but from on the screen there you can see that we do have the 3 different awards available to you. The first of those is a certificate in leadership practice. So if you don't have any IB teaching experience, then this is an ideal route through for you, as it requires no prerequisite of IB experience. And then that allows you to then take the second route, which is the advanced certificate in leadership research. And we can see that there are 2 pathways within that award. The first, which builds on the leadership practice award and doesn't require that IB teaching experience. Or alternatively, you may want to work straight towards the second pathway, but for that you will need 3 years teaching experience in an IB school. And then finally we have the advanced certificate in learning and teaching research, and for that the IB specified that you have to have the 3 years teaching experience in an IB school, and there's no alternatives to that pathway. We also have a dedicated member of staff who will provide you with IB support, and there's no additional requirements for assignment requirements for the IB awards. Instead, you'll be expected to underpin your writing with IB publications, and again, we'll provide you with support for this, as well as highlighting IB publications on the reading lists. Okay, so to take you through a typical part-time route that includes the IB Advanced Teaching and Learning Research, we can see that this is a 3-year route through, as it's part-time, starting with year 1, reflecting upon practice. And then for the second semester of that first year, you will undertake your first optional module. So we have a core and an optional module. There is an opportunity to exit with postgraduate certificates at that point, but that won't enable you eligibility for the IB Advanced Teaching and Learning Award. Year 2 will take you into your second optional module, and following that, the core module of research methods, where you then have the opportunity to exit with a postgraduate diploma, but again, eligibility for the IB Advanced Teaching and Learning Research won't be available for exiting with a postgraduate diploma. It's only available for the exit with the MEd. And to do that, in year 3, you will undertake the double credit dissertation module. Okay, for the MEd with eligibility for the International Baccalaureate Leadership, another typical example for the part-time route is on the screen there. And year 1, you would start off with leadership and organisational development in semester 1, followed by reflection upon leadership in the IB for semester 2. And that will give you the eligibility for an IB Leadership Practice Award, and also you have the opportunity to exit with a postgraduate certificate after that first year. However, we do hope that you'll continue your study into year 2, where you will undertake your second optional module, followed by research methods. And again, an opportunity to exit with a postgraduate diploma. But of course, we'd rather see you move into year 3 and your dissertation in your final year with a leadership and IB focus. And that will provide you in total your 180 credits and the eligibility for the Advanced IB Leadership Award. Okay, for the study duration, the programme has options for fast track or part-time study. The key difference here is that you double up the amount of work that's carried out in each semester for the fast track route. So you would undertake a total of 60 credits in one semester as opposed to the 30 credits for the part-time route. The fast track option is a significant undertaking, however, and I strongly advise you to consider whether you have space in your life and work and a home life to complete approximately 30 hours of study per week. If you do decide upon this option, but then decide or feel that it's too overwhelming, we can transfer you onto the part-time route at the start of a semester. Equally, if you commence the part-time route, but perhaps your circumstances change so that you feel that you are able to double up your study, then again, at certain points in the year, we will be able to transfer you onto that fast-track route. So the optional workshops, these are not mandatory, but are highly recommended. These are due to take place on Friday the 23rd and Saturday the 24th of October. They are a fantastic opportunity to meet with other students as well as some of the tutors. It's a space for us to start building that sense of community and to become a community of learners. The induction workshop will provide an opportunity to gain an understanding of the various mechanisms within the university's online learning platform, how to access the library and how to access the various opportunities for support, such as the Academic Skills Centre here at the university. It will also enable you to develop an understanding of what we mean by critical reading, thinking and writing that's crucial for master's level learning. And from the comments there at the bottom of the screen, you can see that feedback is always excellent. Students do find these sessions very worthwhile and beneficial to moving forward with their studies, particularly as it enables them to feel more confident in undertaking master's level studies. Okay, so the entry requirements to the programme, all routes must have an undergraduate degree, and that can be within any discipline. If your undergraduate degree was not taught in English, the English language requirement is an academic IELTS of 6.5 or equivalent. So for the workplace-based routes, educators who currently work in a relevant setting and wish to enhance their professional learning and improve their career progression prospects, there's ideal opportunities for you to do that within the programme, and many of the modules will provide an opportunity for you to develop any practical tasks within your setting. And also we have the non-workplace based route, which also enables you an opportunity to enhance your professional learning and improve your career progression. But we have, as I've already mentioned, opportunity for you to undertake the work without being in that workplace. So there are alternatives for you. So what do our students say? Similar to the workshops, we have lots of positive feedback in terms of the programme. So some of the comments are there on the screen. And the crucial aspect of these, it is about the enhancement of your practice, and by enhancing your practice and your knowledge, then that really does benefit not just yourself, but those around you as well. And of course, we really do endeavour to provide you with excellent support through a dedicated team. Okay, for the tuition fees, please do ask your academic consultant at Stafford for a breakdown of the tuition fees and information about their instalment schemes. For students living and working in Africa, again, please do contact your academic consultant. The application deadline is the 13th of October, which may seem a long way to go, but it is fast approaching. These weeks are disappearing extremely quickly. So please do get your applications in as soon as possible. And if you have any questions, Helen and I will be more than happy to answer them. And as if by magic, and perfectly in time there, Helen, thank you for returning.
Thank you, Marie. That was excellent. Thank you. Very, very informative. And yes, I can see that there are quite a few questions that have come through already. So please feel free to type out any more that you may have. Okay, so we have a question from Samantha. I have noticed that there is a TESOL specialization. Can you advise why I should apply for this, especially as there are other similar professional qualifications out there?
This is a qualification if you're interested in teaching TESOL, or maybe that you're already teaching TESOL, so English as a second language to overseas learners. So that's who this is aimed for. It's really going to give you a lot of theoretical underpinning, which is going to obviously increase your understanding, and with many of the other named awards, that's going to benefit those around you as well. But ideally, it's aimed at those who aspire, wish, or are already teaching English to overseas learners.
Okay, and is the certificate different for distance learning to that is offered on a full-time basis, also in terms of content or implications or levels?
No, it's all the same. I can wrap that up quite neatly there. The certificates, so if we go back to that first question, there's no difference between a certificate for on-campus learners and those working online either. So absolutely no difference. And also the content of the modules and the way that we assess is all the same. You have exactly the same opportunities in terms of the MEd programme.
And can you confirm if this degree is recognized internationally? Will I be able to teach internationally?
It is a recognised degree internationally. We have students undertaking this degree all over the world, and so we know that it's recognised. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, whether it's considered relevant, that's perhaps the wrong word, but appropriate for a teaching certificate, you do need to check that with in country with the registering body or the Ministry of Education.
Okay, and there is another question that I will answer in terms of getting feedback or unconditional offers from the university. In general, the university admissions department does take anything between 13 and 15 UK working days to provide you with a relevant offer or a feedback. However, please note that due to the COVID situation, a lot of the staff are working remotely. So this process may take a little longer. But do get in touch with me or with your academic consultant, and we'll be able to give you some advice on the timeline. Okay.
Helen, can I also add to that to remind anybody who may be applying to ensure that they've got their paperwork, so the certificates, transcripts, and perhaps module descriptors. Particularly if anybody wants to apply for credit exemption, that's important that we have that information so we can process the application as quickly as possible.
Yes, Marie's quite correct. That is very, very important. The more comprehensive the application is, the quicker admissions can actually look through that application and provide feedback. And Marie's quite correct about that. Okay, so I am a school principal with quite a lot of years working experience, and I do not hold a degree, but I do hold some other qualifications, professional qualifications. Can I be accepted onto this program?
Unfortunately not. We do require an undergraduate degree to come onto the program. However, I would seek guidance by the team there at Stafford Associates, because they may be able to identify a top-up program for you or something similar. So do speak to your academic advisor there about that.
Okay, and I do see that you do have a Fasttrack option where I can do this program a lot quicker. But is this advisable on a master's level?
It really depends on the situation of individuals. I would say if you're working full-time, if you have family, so you've got a lot of commitments already, then you really do need to try and to find where you're going to have that space for approximately 30 hours of study per week. So it really does need some careful consideration, but it will be different for everybody depending on their job and home circumstances. So you're the ones who can answer that really. However, as I mentioned, that if you do start off on the fast track and realise that it is too much for you, it is too overwhelming, then we can transfer you at certain points within the program. And equally the other way, if you start off on part-time but realise actually you could include more study into your week, then there are times when we can accelerate that and transfer you onto the fast track route.
Okay, you mentioned that the workshops are not mandatory and that they may be virtual, which I do understand. How would these virtual workshops actually work? What is covered?
We cover the same materials virtually as if we were there delivering the workshops face to face. Now, hopefully we're going to be in a position where the world is looking a much healthier place in terms of the pandemic, and we can deliver them face to face. But also, if that does happen, we do understand that people can't always get to the workshops for lots of different reasons. We hope that you would be able to come and meet us face to face. But if not, everything is delivered in electronic formats, whether that be via an online system similar to what we're using now, as the module materials also are taught, or whether that is through uploading presentations and recordings for you. So we try to give a parity there, whether you can experience face-to-face workshops or not.
Good. And do you need 3-year IB experience prior to starting the Masters in Leadership with IB? This is my first year in an IB school, and I will have 3 years experience by the time I do complete the Masters in Leadership.
Okay. Now, for the leadership route, what I would recommend is that you work towards the first certificate for the Leadership Practice Award, and then continue on to the advanced leadership route. For that pathway, you don't need any experience working in IB, but of course, the fact that you are in an IB school will help your understanding. You'll be able to then carefully manage that link between practice, IB practice, and their philosophies. Of course, there will be people who are working alongside you who are not currently working in the IB, but equally we can build that understanding for those students as well. So for the IB Leadership Awards, you can certainly work towards those no matter how long or not you've been in an IB school.
Good, and I've noticed some very interesting specializations that you have in this MEd. Is there a possibility of picking 2 at the same time, or do I have to finish one and then can I pick up a second one?
The named awards, or the specialised named awards, you can only choose one. I know that's quite difficult when there's options available there, and particularly with the interest. However, what I would say to you is, although you've got that named award, do remember in most cases, unless you've got credit exemption, which may impact on this slightly, you will have the chance for a second you have that second optional module, so you can choose a different interest in that, but the named award will only be one named award.
Okay, and a question from Megan. Why would I want to do a generic Masters in Education as opposed to a more specific Masters, such as a Masters in Special Needs or Special Education? What would your thoughts be on that?
Again, it depends where people are aspiring to work towards, whether there are more specialist areas. So, for example, if you're wishing to work towards leadership, for example, then the Leadership Named Award would be suitable. If you're wanting to work within inclusion, and that's really your area of specialism, again, then that would be suitable. But the generic award gives a more broader sense of mastery. So it's not like second place in terms of the named awards. It's very much something that a number of our students do undertake, and it just shows perhaps a wider but more generalized specialism within the world of education.
Okay, and Megan, with regards to looking for any possible credits or exemptions, please do get in touch with us or your personal academic consultant, and we'll be able to advise you as to what documentation would need to be submitted for possible review at the university and give you those credits. Okay, I do not have current working experience in a school. I did teach about 6 years ago. Will I still be considered for this program?
Yes, I mean, I would always say to submit your application, you don't need to be currently working in a school. What we do need to make sure is that you have enough experience to be able to reflect on at depth. That's crucial. So depending on how long you were working 6 years ago, if it's just a matter of a few weeks, that's probably not going to give you enough experience to draw and reflect at that depth that we're required. But if it's been a number of years up until that point, then yes, certainly you will have the experience.
Okay, I know there are some qualifications out there that do checking of classroom activity. Does this program do that? And if not, why not?
It doesn't, because we are not a teaching licensing program as such, so we don't need to come out and observe classroom practice. But also do remember that we have quite a number of students who are not currently in practice either at the moment, so it wouldn't really be feasible to do that. But the main reason is because we're not a teaching licensing program, and as I've already mentioned, do check out the details of the requirements for each country, their teaching requirements.
I'm going to be starting with the postgraduate certificates on your program. How long thereafter can I continue to do the next level?
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, we have that quite regularly where students do start with postgraduate certificate, particularly as they're not sure if maybe they've been quite a while since carrying out any studies. A nice way to get back into study as well. But you have up to 5 years to return to us to complete the MEd or even the diploma level. So, or it could be that once you get to the end of your study for postgraduate certificate, that you inform us that perhaps you don't want to exit and instead you want to continue the study there. So there is that opportunity to continue. Also, there's the opportunity to exit and return within a 5-year period.
Good. That's a great beauty about the program, the flexibility that you have to do this. Okay, and can I actually change a specialization halfway through my studies if I'm not very happy with the one that I've chosen in the beginning of the program?
This depends on what you're wishing to move from and to, because of course if it's got the specializations, so for example if it's educational leadership, you must have undertaken educational leadership as a module. Without that we wouldn't be able to transfer you onto that. Of course, if you're transferring from a specialised route, so one of the named awards to the generic award, then yes, we can do that. We just have to make sure that for the named awards, if you're transferring from another award, that you meet the criteria for that specialisation.
Can I get into this program with a master's degree? Because I do not have a bachelor degree. No, correction, I have lost my bachelor degree and I do not have any school certificates with me, but I do have the master's. So can I get into this program with the master's?
Yeah, sure. We understand as well that, you know, people are moving around quite a bit and things happen and that those documents can disappear. But yes, what we're looking for is that you've got that minimum study of an undergraduate degree, which is level 9 here in Scotland, to make sure that you've got a base there for you to be able to build on at level 11, the master's level. So if you've already got that, then yes, you demonstrate that level already. So yes.
Okay, I can understand that there may not be any graduations under the current conditions. How would I then be able to get my degree certificate?
Yes, certainly. And also when we do have the graduations, I mean, it's a great time for celebration, and hopefully in the future the graduation will be going ahead. But not everybody can make those graduations again for various reasons. So under those circumstances, we do send out the certificates to you. So no matter where you are in the world, you will receive your certificate.
Okay, and one last question. If I need to chat to you about any thing that I might not understand on the program, or I need further clarification, can I contact you personally via your email or telephonically?
The best way to contact me is, first of all, yes, we want to support you through this right from the very beginning. But the best way to contact me, particularly at the moment, because we are working remotely, is by email in the first instance. And then we can arrange a suitable time to have a chat electronically through an appropriate platform that's usable for yourself.
Okay. Oh, and there's one more question, very similar to that one, is if there is opportunity for me to come through to the UK, can I come and see you on the campus as a distance learning student? Will I be permitted on the campus to do so?
Yes, as long as this pandemic that we're in at the moment has been lifted, then you'll be most welcomed. And we would love to show you around the campus. It is a beautiful part of the world, and we're very lucky here. So yes, if you can get over, we will definitely make you feel welcomed.
Good, fantastic. Well, I've managed to group all the questions together. Thank you very much for those questions. They were very good. And again, thank you, Marie, for a very, very informative webinar. As Marie has said, we are currently open for applications. Please ensure that you do get in touch with us and let us send your applications through to the university and get that very, very important unconditional offer. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a very good evening. And again, thank you much, Marie, for being with us this evening.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, everybody.